For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind. By the might of his inexhaustible armies, 1,000,000 worlds stand against the dark. Yet, he is a rotting carcass, the carrion lord of the Imperium, held in life by the marvels of the dark age of technology, and 1,000 souls sacrificed each day that his may continue to burn. To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. It is to suffer an eternity of carnage and slaughter. It is to have cries of anguish and sorrow drowned by the thirsting laughter of dark gods. This is a dark and terrible era where you will find little comfort or hope. Forget the power of technology and science. Forget the promise of progress and advancement. Forget any notion of common humanity or compassion. There is no peace amongst the stars, for in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. In the far reaches of the galaxy, where the light of the distant stars barely reach, the Tau Empire expanded, seeking to bring the greater good to all. Their elegant battlesuits and ethereal leadership seemed benevolent, yet beneath the surface lays a darkness that few understand. On the fringes of Tau territory, a small colony was established on a barren world known as Vostak. The colonists, eager to serve the Empire, were initially enthralled by the promise of prosperity. However, whispers of a malevolent force soon began to circulate amongst them, a shadow that stalked the night, an inexplicable dread that permeated into their dreams. The ethereal caste, the guiding light of the Tau, dismissed these concerns. Fear is a human weakness, they proclaimed, yet the colonists felt it, a presence that grew stronger with each passing day. It was said that those who ventured into the ancient ruins on Vostak would never return. One brave fire warrior, Shasui Korva, was determined to uncover this truth. Armed with his pulse rifle and a squad of fellow warriors, he ventured into the darkened ruins. As they stepped inside, the air grew heavy, filled with an unsettling silence that swallowed their voices. Within the crumbling walls, they discovered carvings that told a story older than the Tau themselves. It spoke of a race that had once inhabited the planet, one that had turned to the dark rituals to gain power, only to be consumed by the very shadows they sought to control. Their essence, it seemed, lingered here, waiting for their dark god to return. As the Tau fire warriors delved deeper, the shadows coalesced, forming shapes that danced at the edges of their vision. One by one, the members of Korva's squad began to feel an insidious pull, a whisper that beckoned them deeper into the darkness. And when they tried to retreat, they found themselves lost, wandering through a maze of crumbling stone and creeping dread. It was then that Korva understood. The shadows were not merely a remnant of the past. They were hungry, alive. They wanted life to feed upon, and the Tau, with their zeal and ambition, were the perfect prey. The very shadows themselves slipped inside the unsuspecting warriors through their eyes and mouths. They noticed that their hearts began to beat faster, sweat dripping from their forehead as their vision began to blur. They would try to call out to one another, but their throats had swollen. They began to hack and cough as a black sludge dripped in between their teeth. It was choking them, suffocating them slowly. Dark veins pulsating from beneath their dark blue skin surfacing. They should have never entered these ruins. They were almost in a daze as they lost control of their bodies, and they began walking deeper and deeper into the darkness. A black ichor began oozing through the cracks in their armor. The Tau's physique bulges unnaturally. Muscle and sinew began to distort, the pain now unbearable, and yet they're only able to scream inside their own minds. One by one, his comrades fell, drawn into the void of darkness, their screams echoing off in the walls until silence reclaimed them. Korva was now alone, fighting against the darkness, firing his pulse rifle into the swirling nothingness. The beams of light were swallowed, extinguished as if they have never existed. Desperation clawed at him, but he could not surrender himself to the void. He felt the air thickened with a palpable sense of dread. He could not tell what was real now, but standing before him was a dark figure, Be'lakor, the Dark Master, his form a silhouette against the flickering shadows. The Tau, finding himself bound in chains forged from twisted metal and imbued with the essence of mere chaos, writhed in discomfort, his once proud armor marred and cracked. Be'lakor's eyes glowed with a sinister light as he approached, an aura of malice surrounding him. With a flick of his wrist, he summoned tendrils of dark energy that snaked their way towards the Tau, wrapping him around like serpents. The fire warrior gasped at the cold grip as it tightened, pulling him into a world of torment. "Do you understand the futility of your existence?" Be'lakor's voice was a smooth, mocking whisper, echoing in the confined space. He drew closer, the shadows around him twisting and writhing, as if eager to participate in this torment. "Your greater good is but a fleeting dream, a fragile illusion. This is nothing to what my dynasties have created." The Tau struggled against his restraints, a mix of fear yet defiance flickering in his eyes. Be'lakor smiled, a cruel expression that revealed sharpened teeth. With a mere thought, he unleashed a surge of psychic energy, causing the Tau's body to convulse as pain coursed through him, each pulse igniting every nerve in a symphony of agony. "Feel the weight of your choices," Be'lakor taunted, reveling in the suffering he inflicted. "You could have embraced the power I offered. Instead, you cling to your pathetic ideals." As the torture continued, the Tau's resolve began to falter. Visions of his fallen comrades haunting him, their faces twisted in despair as they succumbed to the same fate that was coming for him. Be'lakor sensed the crack in his will, feeding off of despair like a parasite. He pressed deeper, conjuring illusions of chaos and betrayal that clawed at the Tau's mind. In that dark chamber, the line between physical pain and mental torment blurred. The fire warrior, once a proud defender, now faced the suffocating weight of hopelessness as Be'lakor's laughter echoed around him, a haunting reminder of his impending doom, and to that of the entire Tau Empire. Each moment stretched into an eternity, a relentless reminder that in the eyes of chaos, even the strongest wills can and will be shattered. And that is when he heard a voice coming from the back of his head. "Report, Fire Warrior." This snapped him back into reality. They were trying to message him, the Ethereals, and he desperately tried to reach his communication device. "The shadows, they consume. Warn them." The response was swift but cold. "We cannot allow fear to disrupt the greater good," the Ethereal replied, dismissing his warning as a delusion. "Return to your duty, Shasui." With despair flooding his heart, Korva realized the truth. The Tau Empire was indeed blind to the horrors lurking in the dark, believing themselves invincible, unassailable. The very shadows that haunted them were the result of their expansion, a consequence of their ambition. As the darkness closed in around him, Korva understood his fate. The shadows enveloped him, and in his final moments, he felt the weight of countless souls consumed, a chorus of voices merging into one mournful lament. And as he saw the darkness envelop him, and as his life was being extinguished, he thought to himself that his death might be what the Tau needed to see, to know, to realize the horrors of chaos. But back on Vostak-7, life continued as usual, the colonists unaware of their fate that had befallen Korva and his squad. They toiled under the watchful eye of the Ethereals, believing in the righteousness of their cause. But as night fell, a chill crept over the settlement, and a sense of dread settled in their hearts. The shadows had returned, and this time they would not be ignored. The Tau Empire's pursuit of the greater good had awakened something ancient, and in its depths, only darkness awaited. Be'lakor was here.